What if I told you that 99% of people use Wix website absolutely wrong and they don't even realize it? Now look, I get it. When you build a Wix website, you assume that if it looks good, it will help you grow your business. You picked a template, you gave it your logo, a prompt, and you hit publish. But here's the catch, nearly 70% of new digital businesses fail in their first year. And not because the business idea was bad or the market wasn't there. No. It's because the website did not convert the visitors into customers. It was not capturing leads or processing payments. It was just sitting there looking pretty, yeah, while the business bled out. And the crazy part, the tool to fix all of that, Wix Harmony, is already in your hands. Most people just have no idea how to use it efficiently or correctly. They type, "make me a business website," and then accept whatever layout is given, thinking, all right, I'm done. But what they got is a shell that does nothing. And the 1% of people getting real results, well, they're the ones doing something completely different. They don't just generate pages, they build systems and databases, automations, bookings, and payments, and all working together to actually grow their business. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you in today's video. 5 core systems that completely change how you use Wix Harmony, from prompting it, structuring it, and launching something that actually runs as part of your business. So that by the end of this video, you are going to be able to build a real website that grows a business and be better than 99% of people. All right, let's dive in. Quick things first, I have added a special link in the description box below, which you may find pretty useful. So don't forget to check them out by the end of this video. Before you even touch the builder, you do need to change how you approach it. Now, most people open up Wix Harmony and they treat it like something to experiment with. Click a few things, type some random prompts, and hope that it looks good. And sure, it might look decent at first, but after a few edits, then things just start to feel off. Sections don't match, pages feel disconnected, and fixing it just becomes frustrating. And that's usually because there is no structure behind it. People jump from one idea to another. Change this color, add this page, write something here. And then the AI just tries to keep up, and over time it loses context. And then the whole site just starts to break down. What actually works is going in order. Build the foundation first, then refine the content, then set up functionality, optimize it, and then think about launching. There's also a difference in how you give instructions. Beginners rely on vague prompts and hope that the AI figures it out, reads their mind somehow. But when you're more intentional, when you clearly define who the site is for, what it needs to do, and how it should feel, then the results are completely different. And that's what people mean by vibe coding. You're not guessing anymore, you're directing. And instead of just creating random pages, think of your site as a system. Your homepage should lead somewhere. Your services page should guide people towards booking or buying, and everything else should just connect. And that's how you turn a simple site into something that actually works. Now, one last thing here, Harmony isn't built for heavy custom coding. If you try to force it, you'll just slow yourself down. Now, it works best when you use its built-in tools, apps, and AI agents the way that they are designed for. And that's where the real power is. All right, so the first thing that you need to get right is the prompt. Now with Harmony, that opening prompt doesn't just influence how the site looks, it sets the direction for the entire build. And a lot of people miss that. They type something broad like, "make me a clean business website." Then they accept the first version the AI gives them. And the result usually looks pretty generic, and later they end up spending way too much time fixing the structure, replacing sections, and manually adding the features they should have asked for from the very beginning. What works better is using one strong master prompt that gives Harmony real direction. You want to tell it exactly who the business is for, what the site needs to do, and how it should feel visually. And that means being clear about the industry, the audience, and the overall style. So instead of being vague, you define things properly, whether the look should feel minimalist, should have dark mode, high contrast, modern, bold, or something else more specific. And the more precise you are here, then the better the foundation Harmony can build for you. And this part is important. Harmony is not only generating a design, it's also setting up the infrastructure behind it. So if you mention that you need to sell digital products, then Harmony can provision the store. If you say clients need to book one-on-one sessions, then it can set up bookings. And if your business needs events, forms, or lead capture, including that in the first prompt helps Harmony install the right native apps during generation instead of leaving you to wire them up manually later. So the whole goal of the master prompt is simple. Give Harmony enough context to generate the right skeleton from the very beginning, not just a homepage layout, but an actual structure that already matches the business model. To do that, start by going to Wix.com in your browser and logging in however you normally do, like with Google, then click Create New Site. And once you're in, skip the questionnaires and just click the Design Site on the dashboard so you can get straight to the AI assistant. Now this is where you drop in your full prompt. And for this example, let's go ahead and type, I am building the Universe Digital Blueprint, a platform for modern creators. The aesthetic must be clean, modern, and use a monochromatic color palette with bold typography. The site must include a system for users to book consulting appointments, a storefront to purchase digital templates, and a lead capture form on the homepage. Then click Generate Site and let Harmony do its thing. And at this stage, it's mapping the logic and setting up the structure and generating the interface based on what you asked for. Once the preview loads up, don't jump straight into dragging sections around. That's where a lot of people go off track. If something feels off in the first draft, just stay in the chat and then let the AI refine it first. So for example, you can type, make the hero section more impactful, and ensure the booking section is placed immediately below the fold. And after that, hit send and let Harmony update the structure before you touch the manual editor. Now that way, you're using the AI for what it's best at, shaping the layout and logic globally before you start making smaller edits yourself. It's faster, it's cleaner, and it just keeps the build more consistent. And that's really the value here of this workflow. You're prioritizing structure and functionality first, not just appearance. And that's what helps you end up with a real business-ready website, something with working systems behind it, instead of a nice-looking brochure that doesn't actually do much at all, really. So after you generate the site, everything is technically there, but it still feels a bit off. The layout works, the sections are in place, but the text feels too generic and the images don't quite match what you had in mind. Now, most people end up overthinking it here and assume that they need to rewrite everything or swap out every single asset manually, but that's not really the goal here. You don't need to rebuild anything at all. You just need to refine what's already there. A better way to handle this is to refine the content directly inside of Harmony. Instead of rebuilding sections from scratch, you use the tools already built into the editor to improve what's there. And that means using Ask Arya for fast, targeted copy changes, keeping your assets organized inside the Wix Media Manager, and using the native AI Photo Studio to personalize visuals without leaving the platform. For copy, you don't need to rewrite every headline or paragraph yourself. Instead, you can just click directly on the text that you want to improve, then use the docked Arya assistant to rewrite that exact selection in place. And the benefit here is speed and fit. Arya updates the live text on the canvas instead of giving you a disconnected list of options, so the new copy still works inside the existing design. As for assets, it also helps to stop relying on scattered desktop folders. So upload your logos and icons and key brand images into the Wix Media Manager so everything stays organized, cloud-based, and ready to use across any page. And for visuals, you don't always need to replace the entire design direction of a section. You can just select an existing image, you can open up the Photo Studio, and then use built-in AI editing tools like background removal, masking, or even prompt-based image generation to shift the visuals towards your brand aesthetic while keeping the layout intact. Here's what that looks like on the homepage hero section. So go to the homepage in the Harmony editor and click directly on the main hero headline text box so that it becomes the active element. Then open the Ask Arya chat interface at the bottom right here, and in the chat, type this exact prompt. Rewrite the selected headline to be an authoritative hook for the Universal Digital Blueprint demo. Keep it under 8 words, then click send. Arya will immediately replace the headline directly on the canvas while keeping the original styling. And if you want another variation, don't start over, just type a refinement like make it punchier and send it again. Then that lets you iterate quickly without breaking the section. After that, click on the main hero image. From the menu above here, choose Edit Image, then open the AI Image Editor from the left sidebar. Once the editor opens, click and drag across the full image area so the AI knows that you want to replace the entire visual, not just a small portion of it. Then in the image prompt box, enter this exact prompt: a sleek, minimalist workspace featuring a modern laptop and a digital tablet on a dark matte desk, cinematic monochromatic lighting, high-end professional architectural photography. Click Save, and then Harmony will generate the new image and then place it directly into the existing hero section. And that's the strength of this workflow. You're not jumping between outside tools or manually rebuilding sections piece by piece. You can copy and visuals directly where they live while keeping the layout, spacing, and overall system intact. And the result is far more polished, consistent, and intentional. Now, a site can look polished and still not do anything useful. People can visit and they can scroll through and even read everything, and then they'll just leave. No form submission, no booking, no purchase. That's usually not a design problem, it's a logic problem. So what we're going to do here is just connect everything. Your forms, your bookings, your payments, they shouldn't just sit there. They should trigger actions. So when someone fills out a form, something should happen. When someone books a session, something should follow. And that's what turns a website into something that actually works for you. So inside Harmony, this is handled through Wix's built-in backend tools. So here, we're not going to add any random plugins or external systems. We're just going to wire everything together using what's already integrated for us. So we'll start with your forms. If you have a lead capture form on your homepage, that shouldn't just collect data and then stop there. You can connect it to an automated email so that the moment someone submits their details, they instantly receive a welcome message, a confirmation, or even a lead magnet like a free resource. And that immediate response makes a big difference. It keeps the interaction active instead of leaving it hanging. So next is payments and bookings. If your site involves, say, selling or scheduling, you need to connect a payment gateway so transactions can actually go through. And you can do this by going to the dashboard here, opening up settings and selecting accept payments, then just connecting something like PayPal. And once that's set up, you can also configure automated reminders either via email or SMS for bookings. And this helps reduce no-shows and keeps everything running smoothly without you having to follow up manually. Now, you can also build simple lead magnets using Wix's email marketing tools. Things like downloadable guides or templates give people a reason to share their email, which does help you build an audience over time instead of relying only on one-time visitors. Now, to connect everything, start by opening the AI chat panel and typing dashboard, then click go to dashboard. Before setting up automations, make sure that your payments are properly configured. In the left menu here, scroll down to settings, then click accept payments. And from there, click connect next to your preferred processor, like say PayPal, and then follow the login steps. And this is what allows your site to actually process transactions. And then once that's set, go to automations here in the left menu, click the plus new automation button in the top right here, then choose start from scratch. For the trigger, select Wix Forms, then choose your homepage lead capture form. After that, click the plus sign to add an action and select send an email. Now this makes sure every form submission triggers an automatic response. And when everything looks good, click activate in the top right. Now at this point, your funnel is live and now your site isn't just collecting information anymore, it's actually doing something with it. People can submit forms, they can make payments, they can book services, and then the system responds all automatically. Now what this really does is just take the pressure off of you. There's no need to check forms, reply manually, or even try to keep track of everything. You already have enough to do because the system will handle it in the background. People come in, they take action, and then the next step just happens automatically and it just flows without you having to step in every time. So here's the thing, you can spend all that time building a site, polishing every section, getting the design exactly how you want it, down to the pixel, and then still end up with something people never find. And that's what happens when the visual side just gets all the attention and the search side gets ignored. Because if Google can't properly read or index your site, it doesn't really matter how good it looks. And that's why this phase is very important. Optimization is what connects your finished site to the outside world. And with Wix, you don't need to touch code or manually write backend metadata from scratch to do it properly. The platform already gives you a guided SEO setup checklist along with an AI assistant that helps generate titles and descriptions for your pages. Now, the first part is setting up the basics correctly. Inside the SEO dashboard here, you need to enter your business name, location details, and the main keywords that you want to target. So think of it like giving search engines the context they need to understand who you are and what your site is about. Wix uses that setup as a roadmap, and it also helps connect your site to Google Search Console so that your pages can start getting indexed. After that, you can move into page level optimization. Now, this is where a lot of people usually get stuck because Writing meta titles and descriptions for every single page is honestly repetitive and it's easy to ignore. But Wix simplifies that with Optimize with AI. You can go into the SEO settings for a page, let the AI read the actual content on that page, and then it generates a little tag and meta description for you automatically. But of course, you still have to review what it gives you. And sure, the AI can do the heavy lifting, but you should still make sure the wording still fits your brand voice and includes the keywords that you actually want to rank for. And once it looks good, you can approve it and then apply the metadata directly to the page. Now, to do this, just go to the top bar of your editor or dashboard and click your site name to open the dropdown. Scroll to the SEO section, then click Go to SEO Tasks, and that opens your optimization hub. Follow the setup prompts to enter your business details and keyword targets, then open the Pages panel and choose the page you want to work on. Inside SEO Basics, just click Optimize with AI. Wix will then scan the content of that page and then generate a suggested title tag and meta description. Review both, of course, make any adjustments that you want, then click Approve to apply them. And then from there, repeat the same process across the rest of your pages so that the whole site is properly optimized. Now, what you're doing here is making sure the site does not just exist, but that it can actually be found. You should not end up with a polished website that sits unnoticed. So you got to build something search-friendly, visible, and capable of bringing in organic traffic over time. However, getting the site live is not the finish line. For most people, that's where a different kind of work starts. Replying to messages, following up on leads, checking bookings, reminding clients about payments, and trying to keep everything moving manually. Now, that is manageable at first, but it does get messy fast. Wix handles a lot of that through its built-in AI business agent. So instead of treating your site like something you constantly have to babysit, you can just assign specific ongoing tasks to agents that are built for marketing and customer communication and follow-up. And that gives you more room to focus on actual growth instead of getting buried in small, repetitive work. Cleo is the marketing-focused agent here. It looks at your business and your website, then helps build out a launch plan with practical suggestions. And that can include things like blog topic ideas, SEO-related improvements, and even recommendations for when to post on social media. It's pretty cool. So rather than guessing what to do after launch, you get a clearer direction for promoting your site. Juno works more like a front desk assistant. It helps manage incoming conversations and gives suggestions for how to engage contacts and helps surface the interactions that actually need your attention. So instead of treating every message the same way, you can just use Juno to handle the easier questions faster and stay focused on better leads. Omni is the custom agent, and this is where things get more operational. You can give it specific tasks tied to your business workflow. So for example, it can monitor bookings and send a reminder if an invoice still hasn't been paid after a certain amount of time. Now, that kind of follow-up is easy to forget when you're doing everything yourself, but it does matter. To set this up, go to the top right of the Harmony editor here and click the blue Publish button to make the site live. Then type Dashboard into the AI chat panel and click Go to Dashboard. In the left-hand menu here, open the AI Agents tab. For Cleo, click Marketing Agent, then click Let's Get Started. Cleo will scan your site and business, then generate suggestions to improve different parts of your marketing. Review its recommendations, then apply the ones that make sense to you, then click Launch Marketing Plan and work through the tasks it creates. For Juno, click Front Desk Agent and then click Let's Get Started. After that, Juno will be available for suggestions and customer insights. You can also go to the top right here, click More Actions, then Chat with Juno to get help with a specific lead or contact. Now for Omni, click Custom Agent, then just like Cleo and Juno, click Let's Get Started, start from scratch, and create with AI. In the command box, type Monitor all incoming bookings. If an invoice remains unpaid after 48 hours, send a polite reminder email. Let the AI build a task, then click Continue to task creation, review it, and hit save. Now, what makes this useful is that your site doesn't stop at launch. It keeps working after people visit, inquire, book, or forget to pay. It happens. You don't have to manage every little thing yourself. You're setting up support systems that keep the business moving, even when you're not actively inside of the dashboard. Now, at some point, you'll need to move past the free version and set things up properly. And the free plan is great for building and testing, but it's not meant for a real business. You'll still have Wix branding on your site, you won't be able to accept payments, and you can't connect your own domain even. It works more like a draft, not something you'd confidently send to clients or customers. Upgrading changes all of that. If you want your site to actually function like a business, and I'm pretty sure you do, take payments, handle bookings, and run without platform limitations, you're going to need at least the core plan. Now that unlocks the main features tied to e-commerce and scheduling, which are essential if your site is meant to generate revenue. You also have to be careful with apps. Not everything in the Wix app market is fully compatible with the new Harmony setup. So before installing anything, search for it directly inside the Harmony dashboard and make sure that it works with the current environment. And that will save you from running into issues later where something just doesn't integrate properly. And then there's your domain. Using a custom domain like yourname.com makes a big difference. It does look more professional and builds trust right away. And you can set this up in your dashboard under Settings, then Domains, where you can connect a domain that you already own. Now, Wix handles the hosting automatically, including the SSL certificate, so your site is secure without needing extra configuration. Now, these steps might feel small compared to building the whole site itself, but they're what turn it from a working draft into something people can actually trust and use. Now, there are a few features in Harmony that most people either just overlook or just never use properly, and these are usually the ones that make the biggest difference once your site is live. One of the simplest upgrades is how you handle design changes. And a lot of people still go section by section. I guess that's okay, manually changing colors or fonts. It works, but it's slow and easy to mess up. Instead, you can just tell Arya to update things globally. So for example, you can type something like, update the entire site's secondary color to slate blue, and then it'll apply it across the whole site instantly. Everything stays consistent and you didn't have to chase down individual elements. So if you're targeting a wider audience, adding multilingual support is also another feature worth setting up. And this does require a premium plan though, but it lets you translate your site into different languages without rebuilding everything. So to do this, go to the plus add button in the top left of the editor, open the Wix app market, search for multilingual, and install something like Wiglot. And that way, your content and product details can adapt for users in different regions. Now, another thing that most people miss is using analytics the right way. It's easy to look at your own numbers like traffic or conversion rate, but without context, those numbers don't mean much. Inside the Wix dashboard under Analytics, there's a benchmark section here. And this shows how your site compares to others in your industry. So let's say you're getting a 2% conversion rate, you can actually see if that's good or if there's room to improve. These are small shifts, but they change how you use the platform. Instead of just building and maintaining a site, you're making faster updates, reaching more people, and understanding how your site is actually performing compared to others in your space. Now, before you start sending traffic to your site, you want to make sure that everything actually works the way you expect. It's easy to assume things are fine because the design looks clean, but small issues can break the experience fast. A button that doesn't work, a form that doesn't submit, or a layout that just looks off on mobile can turn people away immediately. And the best way to approach this is to be a bit skeptical. Don't assume anything is working. Go test it. Go through your site like you're seeing it for the first time. Check for small things like overlapping text, uneven spacing, or sections that feel out of place. Make sure the overall look and feel stays consistent across all pages. Use the preview button at the top right of the editor here to walk through the site like an actual visitor would. Click through menus, hover over elements, and watch how things load. After checking out the desktop version, then switch to mobile view and go through everything again. A site can look perfect on desktop, but then it'll break on smaller screens, so both do matter. Forms and automations are especially important to test as well. Don't assume they're working just because they're already there. So fill out your contact forms yourself, go through a test booking, or even simulate a checkout. Enter sample details like a test name and your own email, then submit. After that, open up your Wix dashboard in a new tab and then go to Customers and Leads, Forms and Submissions to confirm that the data actually came through. Then check your email inbox and make sure the automated response, like a welcome email, for example, was sent correctly. And this is how you know that the backend logic is working, not just the front end. And once the site is live and people start visiting, you also want to look at how they're actually moving through it. Inside the analytics section here of your dashboard, go to Behavior. And this shows you the paths that people actually take and where they tend to drop off. Pay attention to the exit rate column. If a key page, say like your services page or checkout, has a high exit rate, then that usually means something is off. It could be a confusing layout, unclear pricing, or just way too many steps. And then that's your signal to simplify or adjust that part of the site. Working this way helps you catch issues early on and fix them before they cost you leads. So instead of guessing what's wrong, you're checking and testing and improving based on what's actually happening. Once you get comfortable with this whole workflow, the way you use Harmony starts to really change. It stops just being a tool to build one website, and it really starts becoming something that you can reuse over and over again, whether that's for clients or for your own projects. And this is exactly how a lot of agencies approach it. Instead of building everything manually each time, they just let AI handle most of the setup, the structure, the layout, even the core apps like bookings or stores. And that cuts down a huge amount of time, because what used to take days can now be done much faster, which means they can take on even more projects without sacrificing quality. So make sure you also document what works. If you notice certain prompts consistently give you better results, then save those. Same with specific Arya commands that help you refine sections quickly. And then over time, you can turn that into your own process, a simple step-by-step system that you can follow every time you build a site. And if you ever work with a team, that just makes it so much easier to hand off parts of the process while keeping everything else consistent. There's also an opportunity beyond just building sites. A website is not something you just finish once and then forget it. It needs updates and monitoring and ongoing improvements. And you can use features like analytics and tools like Cleo to keep optimizing performance, tracking results, and suggesting next steps. And that opens the door to offering ongoing services like monthly maintenance or performance reporting. And at that point, you're not just delivering a website anymore, you're managing something that continues to grow and improve over time. And that's where things really start to scale. All right, so that's pretty much the whole process. And if you think about it, none of this is really just about making a website. It's more about setting things up so that it actually works after you're done building it, where people can come in, they can take action, and then everything just keeps moving without you stepping in every time. And once you've done this a few times, it gets way easier. You stop second guessing things and you really start seeing how to put everything together from the very beginning. So yeah, best thing you can do now is just open up Harmony and try it out yourself. And that's where it actually starts to make sense. I want to thank you for watching and investing your time with me today. I'll see you at the next one.